a great morning, and I'm excited to celebrate all the wonderful moms this morning. We do have amazing women in our life called mothers, and I also know that today is probably a hard day for some. And I want to say I'm sending you my love for those that you've lost your mom. You might not have a great relationship right now, or you never met your mom, or you also are waiting on that miracle. I'm believing with you for that miracle. I've seen that happen in one of my best friend's lives. She waited 14 years. The Lord came through with a wonderful little girl. And for those who have lost your babies, today could be a hard day as well. So I love you, I'm thinking of you, and I'm praying for you on this Mother's Day. So to start us off, we asked some questions this week of some of the staff. So usually you'll hear this question for new moms, some advice for new moms. You hear them at baby showers and all that. Well, I kind of expanded it to just motherhood in general because two of the pieces of advice I grabbed, it really can cross regardless of the stage of motherhood you're in. It's remembering to take care of yourself too. Too many times we get so fast-tracked on everything else that has to happen, and we end up burned out and possibly blowing up, and then having to come back and apologize for our blow-up moment. But we need to make sure that we prioritize our own well-being. Maybe it's taking breaks, seeking support from loved ones, counseling, practicing self-care. You'll be a better parent when you find a good place mentally and physically. This next one is find your people, or as I like to call it, my tribe. These are your people that want the best for you, the ones who are there no matter what, who see you for who God created you to be, the ones who celebrate with you, they cry with you, they jump into support, and something that is so key, especially for me, is someone who will call me out to a higher level. It's always done in love, but they call me up and they call me out. Now, they'll let me cry, they'll let me have my moment, but they also go, I'm here, you're better than this, and this is who God says you are. Have those people. Now, this tribe is not supposed to be large. It's a handful of women. But allow them to speak love into you, speak life, speak into your life, and they are a safe place. That is something I have heard, and even for myself have experienced over the last year and a half. I have a safe place, and that is so key, so key. So here's something a little funny. I know all of us have possibly lied to our mom on one occasion or another. No, never. So here's a story from someone on staff. They say, the biggest lie I ever told my mom. We had a bonfire pile in the back 40 at my childhood home, and my dad had just put a bunch of boxes of client files to burn. He didn't burn them that night because of the wind. Well, when he went to work the next morning, I told my mom that Dad said I could burn the pile. This was before cell phones, so she had to trust me. I set the pile on fire, and the wind was so bad that it was blowing burning paper all over the backfield and almost caught the house on fire. I got in big trouble and had to pick my own switch for the spanking. When I was little, my mom asked me to come clean the kitchen. She came into my room and asked if I had hurt her. I lied and said no. She looked at me and asked again, and I fessed up because I couldn't handle the guilt. She proceeded to tell me I broke her trust forever and then told me the story of the boy who cried wolf. I think all of us have heard that story. I sobbed and felt like the worst person in the world, and I begged her to forgive me. She did, and said never to do it again. From that moment on, I was terrified of lying to my mother. It may not sound like a huge lie, but at that moment, it was seared into my brain. This is not my story, but I had something very similar at 5. I remember my mom saying, "You've lost my trust forever." And I was like, no, this is the end of the world. So, last story was, I wasn't allowed to date till I was 16. I don't know how many of you teenagers might have that right now. I didn't like that rule and decided to date at 15. When my mom asked if we were more than just friends, I lied and said no. That I wasn't dating this guy at 15 I had been told to stay away from. I fessed up within 2 weeks and broke things off with him. The guilt ate me alive. So it sounds like at least 2 people here have major guilty consciences. And their parents are blessed by that because they're willing to fess up when they're messing up. Well, mothers, as we know, we have one of the greatest influences on the planet. We set the atmosphere in our homes. We are what people will hear. You're an atmosphere maker. Yes, we have social media, but as moms, we don't need a social media platform. We've got the platform of motherhood. And it's quite the calling. We get to make a house a home. We get to create a safe place for tears, for celebrations, for joys, for kissing those little boo-boos, for having a safe place when things might be going horribly wrong for your kid. They have a safe place to come and talk, cry, should have a safe confidant that they can just share anything and everything with. And also, it's a place where we get to show our kids unconditional love here on earth. John 16:21 says, "A woman giving birth to a child has pain because her time has come. But when her baby is born, she forgets the anguish because of her joy that a child is born into the world." So in addition, there will be more pain. Just gonna say it. It's only the beginning, and I'm sorry, I feel this way. I think the easiest part was the childbirthing part. Just saying. However, the joy when you have that baby and you're holding that baby up against your chest and that baby is yours does not compare to the joy and the adventure that lies ahead. Proverbs 31:25 says, "She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come." I don't know about you, but how many could use a little more laughter in your day-to-day? We might be taking things a little too seriously. So 3 things mothers need in 2024. 1, let's learn to laugh. Proverbs 17:22 says, "A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones." Laughter's free. I mean, I don't know how many of you might have tried, but if you try to just fake laugh, you end up rolling into a true sense of laughter, and you might be contagious and pull people along with you on that laughter. But it's free. It's something that allows us to take a moment and go, wait, why am I taking this so seriously? In our house, thanks to my husband, we have the dad joke rolling all the time. It used to take me off. I really didn't like it. I was like, seriously, man, this is dumb. This is dumb, straight up dumb. But then I realized I was taking things too seriously, and I'm sorry, they might be dumb, but they are kind of funny. Like, if you really sit back, you're like, okay, I see the humor. Even just a little smirk can lighten any moment. Even yesterday, going to Levi's soccer game, Levi was upset about something, and Josh cracked a joke, and all of us immediately were better. Also going, Dad, like, really? Come on. But it allows us to shift perspective sometimes. It just allows us to lighten up the mood, reduce any tension, and then maybe find some small things around that will cause us to laugh. Number 2, learn how to take breaks. I feel like this is the hardest thing for moms to do. I know it is for me. I feel like I have the weight of the world on my shoulders. I have a full-time job, I have kids, and I have all the other things, and I'm like, I can't do this. Well, I need to take a moment. I heard this thing very recently of a mommy timeout. So, yeah, I was like, oh, mommy timeout. Is this what I've been doing all these years? Oh. Because there would be times, especially when they were little. My kids are 6 and 11. But when they were little, there'd be times where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do this anymore. And I'd go to another room and just sit. Sometimes cry, be honest. And then after I just kind of let the emotions out, then I was able to come back out, deal with the situation. I'm not good all the time. Complete transparency, I'm not. There are times where I do have to come back and go, yeah, so you know how I really blew up? I'm really sorry. Let's talk. I could have handled that better. But we need to learn to take breaks. We need to learn to ask our spouse. We need to learn to ask our family. And I know that's hard for me because I don't want to inconvenience anybody. I don't know where we got it in our head that we're inconveniencing our spouse. Hello. They're the parent too. They're not watching your kids when you go out. They're the parent. They are partnering with you in raising your kids. But ask. They can't read your mind. They can't. I'm serious, they can't. So just ask. And then ask your family too. Hey, I'm having a really hard day. Is it possible maybe the kids can come over for a couple of hours? Or in our house, I'll say, can I go? I just need to go for a walk. And I'll just go for a walk. Sometimes it's an hour, but I come back a much healthier, restful version of myself, and that's good for everyone involved. Number 3, learn to not focus on the undone. We have so many things all the time, and we have to enjoy the moments and be present. My baby sister does this really well. She'll send videos. She lives in the College Station, Bryan area. And she'll send us videos of her just, the girls playing. She has I think he's 6-month-old little boy. But they're being silly. And on the video, you hear her laughing. And yes, it's a mess. She's got a 2-year-old and a 6-month-old. It's a mess. But she's not focusing so much on everything that has to get done. She's really focusing on enjoying those moments. So it's hard for me. I love a clean house. I love things in their place. I love clothes put away as soon as they're done. I love dishes always washed. I hate them sitting in the sink. But sometimes it's okay to let the dishes be undone. It's okay to maybe miss an event, because as we all know, our kids have 3 million things that they're a part of and doing at all times. It's maybe, my son's going, yes. It's maybe okay not to sign up for that 10th event. And just be a family and enjoy your time together. So let's really work hard to find laughter in our day-to-day, in our minute-to-minute, second-to-second. Learn how to take breaks and ask for that help. And learn not to focus on the undone. And try and keep guilt away, because you don't need to sit in that guilt. People are around who really love you, who want to help you, who want to see you the healthiest version you can be, and that kind of support is incredible. So motherhood, as we know, expands all generations. Obviously, we have our grandmothers, our mothers, ourselves. Our daughters will be mothers one day. We all had different tools at our disposal. Some of us had all the internet and all the YouTube and I don't have TikTok, but all the TikTok and Instagram and all those things of everyone else's advice. And then some of us didn't. It was word of mouth. It was all the books that we had to read. I was kind of right in the middle of all of that. But there's just so much advice, and there are so many things for all of us mothers to be given, to be told how to do, but regardless of the stage of motherhood we're in, we can actually still learn a lot from one another. Titus 2 encourages the older women to teach the younger. And 1 Timothy 4:12 says, "Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity." But set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. In this day we live in, we have a lot of know-it-alls. Just say it like that. We do. We've got a lot of know-it-alls. But we tend to disregard each other based on age, based on the life experience, based on what stage of motherhood we're in. But if we could be unified, regardless of the stage, and not pitted against each other, we'd be an incredibly strong force. Mothers leading the way, that's incredible. I know for me, when our kids were little, in diapers still, anytime they were on antibiotics, we had horrific rashes, horrific. And all the things, all the new creams, all the whatever, never worked, ever. It always made them significantly worse. And one day my mom goes, "Have you thought of cornstarch and olive oil?" And I was like, "What? You cook with those things." "I'm not putting that on my kids' hind end. What?" And she's like, "No, I'm serious. Try it. Cornstarch dries everything up. Olive oil provides that protectant barrier. And I was like, well, nothing's worked till now, so sure, why not? Why not? It's all in the cupboard already, because we cook with those things. And so I went, oh my goodness, it cleared up within a day. It was unreal. And so I'm now, any friend of mine, oh, my kid has a diaper rash. I'm like, did you know? And so it's one of those things where I'm like, there's so many things we can share both ways. A new mom, because of all the things you all now have, holy smokes. My oldest is 11, and so much has changed in even 11 years. My second oldest, like I said, is 6, same thing. But there are also some things that younger can bring to the table that are new, creative, inventive ways to take care of their babies, and that's awesome. So there's so many things that we can learn from one another. So many ways we can empower one another, support one another, lift each other up, and celebrate the different stages of motherhood. And it's very, very special. I luckily have been blessed with seeing this done in a very healthy way. I know sometimes when advice is given, it's given closed-fisted, like you have to take this. Let's really work on any advice that we give to one another. It's open-handed and loving. And not get offended if somebody goes, no, I'm not trying that. I'm not doing cornstarch and olive oil. It's okay. At least they were open to hear your advice and take it or not. But things are always changing and they're always shifting. So let's do our best to change and shift together as we embark on motherhood, or we've embarked into now being grandparents of our children's children. One of the greatest gifts a mother can give us, they believe in us. Especially when we don't believe in us or other people don't believe in us. Our mom will always believe in us. They really will. Their love is that string that's always tied to their kid's heart that can never be broken. Ephesians 6, 1-3 says, "Children, obey your parents because you belong to the Lord, for this is the right thing to do. Honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with a promise. If you honor your father and mother, things will go well for you, and you will have a long life on the earth." So I have a picture of my mom and me and Colette. This is her 5th birthday. So this is my mom, Roberta. She raised 4 kids. She homeschooled all of us till middle school. She truly is and was our biggest cheerleader. So our biggest cheerleader growing up, man, she loves her grandkids too. It's a love like no other. She was at all of our activities. She helped us with all of our schooling. I don't remember the book specifically, but in my sophomore year of high school, it was written in Old English. And I had to read it. And so she sat there every single night and would read it out loud to me. Because for some reason, just reading it, I could not comprehend. But out loud, I could comprehend. So she was always there, willing to help. My mom even went back to teaching when I started college. I'm the oldest. So she taught 3rd graders until the baby officially was done with college. My parents really wanted to help us however they could, and so she showed a lot of selfless love. She was already retired from teaching, raised all of her kids, taught all of us, and then went right back into teaching. So, and as I've said, I'm the oldest of 4 kids. I've got a picture of me and all my siblings. It's a little blurry, but hey, we got it. And I'm the shortest, so it goes me, then to the right of, y'all's right. That's my sister Sarah, my brother Dave, and my baby sister Courtney. So I'm being the oldest. Not all oldest are like this, but I'm a rule follower, big rule follower to the T. The only time I started to question things was after I got married. Sorry, babe. I'm like, why do I have to follow this rule? Why do I have to do this? I should be able to do whatever I want, whenever I want. But I was personally the rule follower. So essentially, I was the one that had to either set the example or be the example. So that was fun. Now, as I grew up, I remember thinking, Mom, really? Why? Why are you making me do that? Why do I have that boundary? Like, come on, you're ruining my life. I know some of you have said that. You're ruining my life. Just let me do it. Let me figure it out. You're keeping me from having fun. I can't believe you are doing this to me. It's super dramatic, but I do understand. I remember at that age, I didn't understand. It was super irritated. It felt confining, but I did, and it's probably because of my personality and who I am. I chose to believe it was for the best. Now, she lucked out with me because I rarely broke rules. It was very few and far between, and if I did, I would fess up. I was the one at 15 with the boyfriend, and I fessed up real fast because for me, the guilt always ate me alive. I would fess up and be like, I'm sorry I did this, and usually the anguish I put myself through was enough for them on the punishment side. They're like, you learned your lesson. But I chose to believe, and sometimes it was a very hard choice to believe that she had the best at her heart for me. So as I've grown up, gotten married, a lot of us have probably experienced this shift when we became a mother of having many moments of, oh, I get it. I get it now. Oh, okay. And I've even gone back around to her going, hey, you know that time? I'm really sorry. I'm sorry I fought you on that. I get it. I get why you had the boundaries. Because it really wasn't to control me, but it was to protect me because she really loved me so much. And then finally understanding that if something were to happen to me, that would have been the worst thing that she could have ever walked through. And for moms, it really is. The idea of our child getting hurt or going through something that we can't protect them from, and obviously as they get older, we're not going to be able to protect them from everything, and they're going to have to learn. They're going to have to be able to experience life and deal with those consequences, but when they're little, 6 and 11, I can kind of help on some of those because it just would break my heart to see that happen, see them really have to struggle. But that's the heart of the Father. That's how he sees us. That's why he has given us those boundaries. That's why he's not here to control us. He loves us. He loves us so much because it's unbearable to him when we get hurt, when we make some decisions that truly hurt us. But it does shift our mindset when we have children and we have someone else to take care of because we've been entrusted by the Lord to take care of them, nurture them, and then release them. All right, I have a picture of me and my kids. There is one with Josh. He's not my kid, but I like the picture a lot. The one with the glasses is one of my favorites because it really shows their personalities big time. And then they love to laugh. That one with them laughing is the most recent one we took. And they're very joyful kids, always trying to come up with sometimes not so great jokes, but it's fun. It's fun. But they definitely keep me on my toes. They have caused me to shift. They have caused me to really lean into the Lord for his direction because it's hard. It's hard. It is definitely something you don't realize how hard it is till you're in it. And there are a lot of things in life that you don't realize how hard it is until you're in it. But they are the biggest blessings of my life. But also because of them, they push me back to God. Now, do I do things exactly how my mother did it? No. Some of them, yes. But I'm very grateful for the shift in perspective that has come as being a mother and understanding the generational blessing that we have of young and old working together and sharing advice and raising our kids together and possibly helping grandmas with their grandkids. So today, I don't want this just to be another day of us telling us to honor our mothers, but let's give honor and show love every day because there will be a day when we no longer can. Let's also be mothers and women who pursue the heart of the Father. As we choose to pursue him, we'll be transformed. I heard something the other day of we work so hard to not do something that we do it. And this person was talking about how they're trying to overcome an addiction, and they kept going, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it. You're going to end up doing it. And what this person did, they started pursuing the heart of the Father. They started memorizing their text. They started really understanding the Bible and what the Lord was saying. So moms, let's pursue the Lord. He's our biggest cheerleader. He's the best father we'll ever have. And he loves us so, so much. But as we pursue him, we're transformed. We truly, kids won't like this, we get the discernment of the Holy Spirit. We know, we just know. We know that we know that we know. And the kids are like, how did you know? The Lord will continue to speak to you. He will show you. He'll teach you how to be selfless. He'll change our vocabulary. He'll help us go, okay, I need a moment. I'm taking a step back. I got to wait. Hold on. We'll deal with this in a minute. And then being able to come back and have that conversation. It also helps your kid calm down too, just saying. But pursuing the heart of the Father helps us walk out the gifts of the Holy Spirit. It becomes who we are. It becomes part of our DNA and everything that we do and say, I am still a work in progress, major work in progress, but I do love my Father, and I love his heart for me, and I love what he says in his word, and how he encourages me, and how he truly loves me, and that joy, that unspeakable joy that remains no matter what the circumstance is from him. It's from him alone. So I want to really encourage you this morning to pursue him. Have that joy, that unspeakable joy. I know that we struggle, and that's not even a question today. And some of you may currently, even with this message, feel undervalued and unappreciated. Well, you are valued. You are seen. You are appreciated for what you do. It's hard work. It really is. God promised in Psalm 35 that a shout of joy comes in the morning. It comes in the morning. Every single morning, a shout of joy comes in the morning. So be encouraged. Your Father loves you. He sees you. He's so proud of you. He's so proud of you. You're doing an amazing job. Know that. Know that. Your kids see it too. Even if they might be giving you a hard time, they do see it. They really do. They see the sacrifice. They see the love. They still see mom even when we have our moments. They do. They really do. They see you moving to be closer to family, to have that support. They see you taking that extra job because you need it. They see you sitting down and having a moment with them to just love on them, to hear about their day. I don't know if they're little, play a little game with them, or just read some books. They see it. You're doing way better than you give yourself credit for. I love you, and I'm so proud of you. So this morning, I do want to invite all the moms to come forward.